at every major mythology on Earth, they all have one thing in common. Somewhere in the introduction chapter, everyone gets wiped out by a massive flood. The Greeks had the Deucalion, the Hindus had the Manu, and the Mesopotamians had the Utnapishtim, and the Bible has Noah. Usually, the stories are the same. Humanity was being too loud, too sinful, or too stupid. And the gods decided to hit the factory reset button with a global bathtub. Now, for centuries, we treated these as metaphors. But it's weird that everyone, even cultures that never met, remembered the same exact disaster. Today, we will be looking at why the flood wasn't just a story, it was a 7,000-year-old crime scene. Chapter 1. Logistics of the Ark. Before we get to the science, let's look at the myth. In most versions, one guy builds a boat. Now, I don't know if you ever tried to manage two cats in a carrier, but imagine trying to fit two of everything, including the termites, onto a wooden boat. Wooden boat built by a guy who is apparently 600 years old. Logistically, it's a nightmare. The sanitation alone would be a biblical disaster before the rain even started. I mean, it fits because it's in the Bible, but still. But these stories aren't about the boat, they're about the trauma. People don't invent a story about the entire world drowning unless they actually saw the horizon turn into a wall of water. Chapter 2. The Black Sea Deluge. Enter the Ryan Pittman theory. About 7,500 years ago, the world was warming up for the last ice age. Glaciers were melting, sea levels were rising. The Mediterranean was getting fuller and fuller, like a balloon about to pop. The only thing holding it back from the then much lower Black Sea was a tiny strip of land in what is now Turkey. Eventually, that dam broke. The Mediterranean surged through Bosporus with the force of 200 Niagara Falls. It wasn't a rainy peak, it was a thundering one. Permanent roar lasted for months. The Black Sea rose by 6 inches a day. If you were a farmer on the coast, you woke up and your farm was gone. By the end of the week, your village was gone. By the end of the month, your entire world was underwater. You don't need a global rain for it to feel like a global apocalypse. Chapter 3. The Mega Tsunami and the Ring of Fire. But what about the Aztecs, or the indigenous tribes of North America? They were near the Black Sea. This brings us to the mega tsunamis. Every few thousand years, a massive chunk of an island, like in Hawaii or the Canary Islands, slides into the ocean. This creates a wave that can be hundreds of feet high. To someone living in the coastal society 5,000 years ago, a 300-foot wave isn't a wave, it's the ocean becoming the sky. When the survivors fled to the mountains and looked back, they didn't see a flood, they saw a world that was literally erased. That story gets passed down for 100 generations until it becomes a myth. So, what happened in the end? It was all a memory in our DNA. In 2026, we have the Artemis 2 mission preparing to orbit the moon. We have satellites that can measure sea level rises down to the millimeter. We know exactly why there are water moves. But we still tell these stories. Why? Because the flood is the ultimate human reboot story. It's about the fact that no matter how much Earth tries to delete us, someone always builds a boat. Someone always survives to tell the story. We aren't afraid of the water. We are just descendants of the people who are fast enough to get to high ground. So, the next time it rains for 3 days straight and you're starting to get nervous, just remember at least you don't have to fit two hippos in your garage. Stay curious, stay dry, and subscribe for more deep dives into history and how we almost died. See you in the next one.